Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol. Welcome you all, and let's get started with our Bhagavatam, Canto number 3. It was little gap in between, but let's do some summary of what did we learn, and we can take it from there. So let's start with a prayer. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata seveya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. Hare Krishna. So if we go back to our Canto 3, and so what is happening is, so all the conversations is based on the questions asked by Narad Muni, sorry, Vidura, to Maitreya Rishi Muni, because he was went to the pilgrimage and he was asking lot of questions about the creations. We heard about the Brahma's creations and who he has created in the beginning, and now after the all the creation, still he was not happy. Still he sees that our progenitions or our the generation is not expanding that very well. So Brahma is again meditating on the Vishnu. So, based on all the questions, and again, Brahma is praying to Lord Vishnu that how I should do. Because based on your instruction, I did. We heard the story of Kashyapa Muni and Diti, they had that son and all the Varaha Rupi story, right? So, those he created based on the instructions of our Lord Vishnu Narayan only. But now again, he's seeing that the expansion is not happening that fast. So, his meditation and getting the permission from Lord Narayan. So, what he was doing is again praying to the Lord Narayan and getting the instruction that what we should do. So he created all the different Rishi Munis, as we learn in the chapter number, I think, 12, where he created different Rishi Munis, like 10 of them. Let me read. Hopefully, that will catch some of the points. That from his the Brahma, the son of the Brahma is first is called as Narada, Narad Muni. The best part of his body he created from the best part of the body, that is what is I mentioned in my notes. So Vasishta Muni came from the breathing, Daksha Muni is coming from the thumb, Bhrigu Muni from the touch, Kratu Muni is hand, Pulastya Muni is from ear, Angira from mouth, Atri is from eyes, Marichi from the mind, and Pulahar Muni from navel of the Brahma, and Kardama Muni is came from the best part of his shadow, which is the splendor, the light part of this one. So Kardama Muni is specifically mentioned in the chapter number 12, where he was very elevated Rishi Muni, Kardama Muni. So now in this chapter, what we are going to learn in chapter number 21, where Vidura Muni is further asking to our Maitreya Muni that tell me how this expansion happened after the meeting of husband and woman, husband and wife, that relationship, how the generation expanded. As we know that the Manu plays the very important role. So Manu and their brothers is mentioned that Swambhavu Manu and their dynasty, all the Manu dynasty, how expanded when the husband and wife came together. What happens after the relationship setups? So please tell me about this. So this chapter is again explanations of conversation between the Manu and Kardama Muni. To have just a recap of this chapter, like in a summary format, I was reading last night and this morning, I will give you the recap in the terms of our official management role. Let's think, you are a product manager, right? You have some products, and your upper management is asking, okay, how we can expand this product in the market, what is the best strategy we should be following. So if you are in the product department or any service department, so that we can have more expansion. So similarly, the Brahma is having the conversation with the Manu, how we can expand these things. And everyone is meditating, okay, because instruction has to come from the Narayan. So in our world of the product distributions, what we will do, okay, we may need to acquire some company which will bringing the same products, and we can expand and make a subsidiary unit so that we can more expansions can happen. So similarly in the spiritual world, when the Brahma is having the conversation with the thing, they identified, okay, Kardama Muni is the one where he is going to marry the our Manu's dynasties. There are three daughters who is from the Swambhava Manu. When he is going to marry with that one, so similarly in the material world, what we will do is we acquire the companies. When we acquire, we can easily, because that company have their own products, and the similarly when the combinations happen, and we will dominate the market, and all the expansion happen, and the subsidiary unit, and you keep on expanding, and that unit will have more and more productions. So similarly in the spiritual world, what they did is our Swambhava Munu have three daughters, and that one the daughter his name is Devahuti, and other two daughters is Akuti and Prasuti. So here we are mostly talking about the Devahuti. So now they were asking at the same time, what when the discussions is happening, Kardama Muni is having internal that during his meditation, and he was thinking that I want a wife where I can have more progenies, have more children, and things, and the expansion can happen. So Kardama Muni, what he did is he went for tapasya, that meditations, or uh, uh, getting the good wife. In 10,000 year of meditation, when I was reading that he was asking for wife, good wife, and going for 10,000 year of meditation, there is a very good learning lesson also. We will touch on that one, because uh, yeah, I will come to that some points, that husband, he wants to get a wife, and he is going for meditation and that tapasya for 10,000 years to get the best wife. And once that story of Kardama Muni, when he was in that austerity, in that meditation, Narad Muni is going all over the world, right? And he mentioned that there is a Rishi Muni. At the same time, Swambhavu Munu is looking for the best husband for her daughter Devahuti. Narada Muni says that there is a one Muni, he is in the tapasya right now, and he is the best candidate for your daughter. There is a one conversation happening at the same time. Kardama Muni is in his meditation and asking Lord, please help me to get the best wife. So after this happens, right? After the 10,000 years, Lord appear in front of Kardama Muni. And Kardama Muni is, if seeing that Lord himself with a four-handed and is described in this purport and in the translation that how the Lord Narayan looked like. We heard many times in the before also when Brahma went and pray and asking this, there is a description of the Lord Narayan. These are the very good references for us also how the Lord looked like when he come in the four-handed with the conch shell, desk, the flower and these things, right? So it's described very clearly, yellow garments and kastuba jewels, all the described very nicely. Based on the descriptions you can see some of the picture also. One of the picture from Pushkar Prabhu, he described exactly the same. I have that picture somewhere. It is described exactly from the Bhagavatam. Because I asked him, Pushkar Prabhu also, how you come up with the idea. He says, I read the Bhagavatam, wherever the description is there, the Lord, I draw exactly the same. So its description was there. As soon the Kardama Muni starts seeing the Lord, what he do? Anytime he heard that, he start praying. That okay, the first sentence for him is, I meditated for my wife actually. I want my future wife to be with that qualities. And the Lord becomes so pleased and he start predicting for him that, okay, I already found your wife because in your heart as a Paramatma, I can heard that what is your desire. Your desire is not for the sense gratifications, but you want to have a better, for the better progenies and for the next generation thing. So he blessed Kardama Muni with the nine daughters and one son. And the one son, he said that I am so pleased, I will appear in the Devahuti womb, me only. Directly, I will come as your child. And the child name is, anyone remember? I think Karthik said that, Lord Kapila. Lord Kapila. Now, if you think there is a lot of learning when you read the purport and the translation of this chapter itself, overall, my point is what we learn from this chapter, right? We will discuss that at the end. Our learning point is he is praying for the wife to have a best of the best children. At the same time, the Lord is so pleased that He is happy to take the birth to appear from the womb of Devuti. He says that my planetary portions will be appeared and I am going to come myself as a Lord Kapila. So these are the important lessons for us, that whenever we have our desire, right, to have a children or have a wife or our children's wife or the future thing, our consciousness has to be for the best generations, to have this preaching thing, have a best candidate, best children in our families, right? So the consciousness, what Prabhupada mentioned in his lecture also for this thing, he says that when we are planning to have like expansion of the families, our consciousness should be that I want to get like child like you only. That's our should be the desire. And this is what the Lord Vishnu is mentioning to Kardama Muni, that I know your desire in your heart. I already knew that one. Why you are doing the 10,000 year of meditations is not for the sense gratification, I want a wife, but to have a children like me as a Narayan. So I blessed you with the nine daughters and one son. And the nine daughter is, the purpose of the nine daughter is to again the expansions of the better children. And the nine daughters again go to the other Rishi Munis so that the progeny and all the expansion will happen. So this question raised by Vidura to Maitreya Muni, that please tell me how the expansion happens. So in this, the Manu and the Kardama Muni, the discussions happen is just to have and fulfill the desire of Kardama Muni. And after the Lord disappeared, and the Kardama Muni was sitting, and Lord said that, okay, next day, tomorrow, Manu, the Swambhava Manu, will come with his daughter and he will offer you, can you marry my daughter? And you have to accept that one. So when that offer came, and the Lord already mentioned that this is going to happen next day, tomorrow, then Kardama Muni was very much agree with this. But he put one condition. Just, I don't know if you all read that chapter, but just think what condition Kardama Muni said that only in one condition I will marry your daughter. Anyone was think that what condition he could put. He know that my son is going to be Lord himself. I will have a nine daughter. He know that prediction already happened. And as in heart, he already knew that's one. So what one condition he did? Yes, Prabhuji. Rajiv Sham Prabhu.
I think as soon as the daughters are born or the progenies are born, and he will leave for forest.
That's correct. So what we learn from here? What is the
I
learning
think
lesson for us?
detachment, detachment.
Detachment, yeah. So but for Kali Yuga, it's not recommended that we should just leave and go to some forest or things. But here Kardama Muni is showing that one, I'm having those children so that they will run the world, they will preach that one, and they should be the Krishna consciousness. Their consciousness is always be surrendered to the Lord himself. That was his intention. And after the child will be born, if the son is at the home, most of the cases the father will go for the that liberation and meditation thing, because now son will be taking care of the mother, because mother have another thing. There are when we reach to that chapter, mother was showing that like discomfort, okay, not dissatisfaction, why you have to leave, how I'm going to survive. But that's the time the Kardama Muni is explaining to Devahuti that your son is the Lord himself, you don't have to worry, because he knows more than what anyone knows. This one, he himself is the Narayan, right? So he's having the child like a Narayan at the home. Now his responsibility is go out and preach and not attach to the family. For us is the learning lesson is what Prabhupada mentioned is, at the grahastha life also we can live as detached person. Our affectionate and the love will be there because we want to take care, because this uh, in the Sati Yuga and that age is little different than the Kali Yuga. But our intention is we should be learning how to detach, because we are so much attached not only to the wife, not only the children, our house, money, bank balance, and so many other things. We should be learning. Kardama Muni did the 10,000 year of meditation to get the wife and have child, and after that he's saying that I am not going to attach, I won't be stay here, because I will live with you with your son, and then I will go back. That is my condition. If you accept that condition, then I will marry your daughter based that conditions, right? So there is a few more points we will discuss, but before jumping into, so these are some of the summary of the chapter number 21 and 22. But Kardama Muni is not very ordinary Muni also. He is very elevated. He already knew that one, the Lord is going to appear, Narada is going to go to the with, that place. But then he meditated his desire to have a wife so that I can fulfill the order of Narayan. That's what he was telling. Again, in his heart, the Paramatma, because he's a Rishi Muni, he don't have to marry anyone. But the thing is, he's so elevated, and the Brahma instruction and the Lord Narayan instruction, he's telling when he was praying to the Lord, when the Lord appeared, he was telling that one, this is your and the Brahma's desire that I should marry Devoti, right? So with that, let's jump into the chapter 21 and read the translations so that we will have better understanding. It's a little big, there are a lot of things, but I cover in the summary format. We will cover only one chapter today. So chapter 21, conversation between Manu and Kardama Muni. I will read first five shlokas and then we can pick from our sequence. So conversation between Manu and Kardama Muni. Text number 1. Vidura said, the line of Swambhavu Manu was most esteemed. O worshipable sage, I beg you, give me an account of this race whose progeny multiplied through the sexual intercourse. The two great sons of Sambhavu Manu, Priyavarta and Uttanapada, ruled the world consisting of the seven islands, just according to religious principle. O holy Brahmana, O sinless one, you have spoken of his daughters, known by the name Devahuti, as the wife of the sage Kardama, the lord of created beings. How many offspring did that great yogi begets through the princess who was endowed with the eightfold perfections in the yoga principle? Oh, pray tell me this, for I am eager to hear it. O holy sage, tell me how the worshipful Ruchi and Daksha, the son of the Brahmana, generated the children after securing as their wife the other two daughter of the Swayambhavu Munu. So, as I said, there are three daughters. One is the Devahuti, married to Kardama Muni, and the two other daughters is married to other sages is Daksha and Ruchi. And the two other daughter is married is Akuti and Prasuti. So again, in the different cantos, we will heard more about the Daksha and his daughters and who married to Lord Shiva also. So, but here is mostly focus on Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Let's ask Rajiv Sham Prabhu. You want to read next five shlokas? Six
Sure,
to ten.
Prabhu.
Yes.
Sure. Text number 6. The great sage Maitreya replied, commanded uh,
Lord
by
Brahma.
Lord Brahma to beget children in the world, the worshipable Kardama Muni practiced penance on the bank of river Saraswati for period of 10,000 years. During that period of penance, the sage Kardama, by worship through devotional service in trance, propitiated the personality of Godhead, who is quick to bestower of all blessings upon those who flee to him for protection. Text number 8. Then in Sati Yuga, Lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead, being pleased, showed himself to that Kardama Muni and displayed his transcendental form, which can be understood only through the Vedas. Text number 9. Kardama Muni saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is free from material contamination in his eternal form, effulgent like the sun, wearing a garland of white lotuses and water lilies. The Lord was clad in spotless yellow silk, and his lotus face was fringed with slick dark locks of curly hair. Text number 10. Adorned with a crown and earring, he held his characteristic conch, disc, and mace in three of his hands and a white lily in the fourth. He glanced about in a happy, smiling mood whose sight captivates the hearts of all the devotees.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So you see the description of the Lord. So now I remember this painting. If you anytime go to Champaklata Mataji house, you will see this exactly the same description picture done by the Pushkar Prabhu. So I will try to see that one. This exact description he got it from here, right? Thank you, Prabhu. Let's go to next person, Ritika Mataji. You want to read next five shlokas?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. A golden streak, text 11. A golden streak on his chest, the famous Kastuba gem suspended from his neck. He stood in the air with his lotus feet placed on the shoulders of Garuna. Text 12. When Kardama Muni actually realized the Supreme Personality of Godhead in person, he was greatly satisfied because his transcendental desire was fulfilled. He fell on the ground with his head bowed to offer obeisances unto the lotus feet of the lotus feet of the Lord. His heart naturally full of love of God, with folded hands, he satisfied the Lord with prayers. Text 13. The great sage Kardama said, O supreme worshipful Lord, my power, my power of sight is now fulfilled, having attained the greatest perfection of the sight of you, who are the reservoir of all existences. Through many successive births of deep meditation, advanced yogis aspire to see your transcendental form. Text 14. Your lotus feet are the true vessel to take one across the ocean of mundane nescience. Only persons deprived of their intelligence by the spell of the deluding energy will worship those feet with a view to attain the trivial and momentary pleasures of the senses, which even persons rotting in hell can attain. However, O my Lord, you are so kind that you bestow mercy even upon them. Text 15. Therefore, desiring to marry a girl of like disposition, who may prove to be a veritable cow of plenty in my married life, to satisfy my lustful desire, I too have sought the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of everything, for you are like a desire tree.
Thank you, Mataji. So, in this shlokas, Prabhupada mentions that there are two kind of people, and referring to the Bhagavad Gita, where one is without any desires, he want to just surrender to the Lord, and another person is he is reaching to the Lord only for the material sense gratifications, and he's comparing to those people with the animals like a dog, hog, and things. They will also enjoying, right, their sense gratifications and having the childrens and things. Those are like a animal mentality, and that propensity is not going to take anywhere. The end of the result is hellish life. That was the Prabhupada mentioned here, which he is giving the reference that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned these are the two people. And here the desire of the Kardama Muni to fulfill is only because he is taking the instruction from Brahma and Lord himself. So his expectation is not that one. And as I mentioned in the next chapter, he accepted the offer to marry the Devahuti only in the one condition: after having these childrens, I won't be stay here, right? So which clearly shows that he has the desire to have a children, but at the same time to fulfill the what is the order or the expectation of the Brahma, because Brahma having some anxiety. Okay, I created this, all the demons have all creating, and they are like chasing me, and they want to eat me, and they want to have a sex with me. Now he reaching to the Lord. Okay, I want to have, but now I'm having suffering because of your orders. Now, here the Kardama Muni is clearly showing that as an example for the Grahastha life that I want to have, so that the children will be in that consciousness of to serving to the Lord. Right? There's a lot of lessons learned. If you read the Prabhupada things, he's referring again to the Bhagavad Gita. And he's giving the differentiation of the person having the desire and having a desire for sense gratifications. Very, very important. Let's go to Prasanna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, text 16. O my Lord, you are the master and leader of all living entities. Under your protection, all conditioned souls, as if bounded by rope, are constantly engaged in satisfying their desires. Following them, O embodiment of religion, I also bear obligations for you, who are eternal time. However, persons who have given up stereotyped worldly affairs and the beastly followers of these affairs, and who have taken shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet by drinking the intoxicating nectar of your qualities and activities in discussions with one another, can be freed from the primary necessities of the material body. Your wheel, which has 3 naves, rotates around the of the imperishable Brahman. It has 13 spokes, 360 joints, 6 rings, numberless leaves carved upon it. Though its revolution cuts short the lifespan of the entire creation, this wheel of tremendous velocity cannot touch the lifespan of the devotees of the Lord. My dear Lord, you alone create the universes. O personality of Godhead, desiring to create these universes, you create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies, which are under the control of your second energy called Yog Maya. Just as a spider creates a cobweb by its own energy and again winds it up. My dear Lord, although it is not your desire, you manifest this creation of gross and subtle elements just for your sensual satisfaction. Let your causeless mercy be upon us, for you have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with a splendid wreath of tulsi leaves.
Thank you, Mataji. So, So some of the points what Prabhupada is little bit like a technical and the terms. Now Kardama Muni is praising that all the cycle and the creations of all this universe and coming up all the different seasons, sun is going in the cycle. He was giving these numbers, and Prabhupada is giving some more detail. Everything is controlled by you. We are just like in this circle. And Prabhupada also mentioned that in this circle, we are going back and forth, birth and death and life cycle. He was explaining we have to come out only by surrender to you. So these numbers, if you can read Prabhupada purport, then he will explaining that these are the references, because all these cycles, month, chaturmas, and that mass, everything, sun, moon, sun is going in that circle. All the some technicalities he was mentioning, just to giving the clarification that everything is controlled and managed by Lord Himself. Thank you. So let's go to Karthik Prabhu.
Right.
Yes,
Hare Krishna. Uh,
yes.
Text 21. I continuously offer my respectful obeisances unto thee, your lotus feet, of which it is worthy to take shelter, because you shower all the benedictions on me insignificant, to give all living entities detachment from floating activity by realizing you have expanded these material world by your own might. Text 20. Maitreya resumed. Sincerely extolled in these words, Lord Vishnu, shining very beautifully on the shoulders of Garuda, replied with words as sweet as nectar. His eyebrows moved gracefully, and he looked at the sage, smile full of affection. Text 23. The Supreme Lord said, having come to know what is in your mind, I have already arranged for that for which you have worshipped me well through your mental stability. Text 24. The Lord continued, my dear Rishi, O leader of living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you, who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration. 25. The Emperor Swayam, the son of Lord Brahma, is well known for his righteous act, has its seat in Brahmavarta and rules over the earth with seven oceans.
Very nice. Thanks, Karthik Prabhu. Here one very good point which we heard many times on the shloka number 24. I will read again. The Lord continue. My dear Rishi, O leader of the living entity, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially person like you who have given up everything upon me, there is never any questions of frustration. Do we have frustration in our life? Right? So this sentence is repeated many times, and Prabhupada again referencing in the from the Bhagavad Gita. These frustrations, if you are having lot and lot frustration, means what we are missing is our devotion, our worshipping. Especially, he was saying that you Rishi, that Rishi, he knows that one. He is one of the topmost Rishi. Everyone is praying. Even the Brahma himself is praying to the Kardama Muni. He is that level. And when he said that level of this one, and he already confirmed that I already know that in your heart that what uh, for what reason you did all this austerity and so many years of meditations. But once you devotions, you are worshipping with from your that when you serve me with the devotion and person like me, you never be upset, you never have the frustration in your life. So there is a lot of meaning for this in our learning curve also. When we are in this our frustration life, if we see that, oh, I'm doing from last 5 years, I'm doing this or that, is still having the frustrations, is there is a gap. The gap of our bhakti, our commitment, our commitment for our sadhana practice, we are not taking that much seriously. So frustration is always be there because we are not giving 100% our effort. There is a message, very clear message. Prabhupada mentioned in the few other shlokas also, because we are holding into many other things. Like Prabhupada gave example, you are keeping your leg in multiple boats. Is never going to be happen. You have to be very fixed. You have to have that kind of like commitment. What our Guru and Shastra says, that once you have that one, that frustration might will be there because it's a Kali Yuga, but you will see that it's not impacting you. That's why they say that there is never any questions of frustrations. This message is not Lord is talking to Kardama Muni. He doesn't have any frustration. But this message for us, that having the family, having wife, having child and everything, we are living in the one of the best country in the world. Do you think we don't have frustration? We do have. We are having. We have maybe less challenges than the other people who are suffering to get the one meal of the food. But at the same time, why we are having this lot of frustration and more frequently? Because we are not committed. We are not ready to surrender, right? If that the case is, then we have to talk to the guru. We have to talk to this one-on-one conversation, that I'm still not getting it. Then he will figure out, whoever, like I usually go to my Siksha teacher and senior acharya. Okay, still having these things will keep coming. He say, okay, what you are doing in your sadhana, how you are practicing, right? So if we do that worship, that's what the word is called devotion, by worshiping me. That's very clear line. With that, thanks again, Karthik. Anish, you want to read next five?
Action by Kirtan is also there.
Kirtan, oh, I'm not seeing, she's not in the video, but yes. Definitely after Anish, Kirtana, yeah.
Text 26. The day after tomorrow, O Brahmana, that celebrated emperor, who is expert in religious activities, will come here with his queen, Satarupa. Text 27. He has a grown-up daughter whose eyes are bright. She is ready for marriage, and she has good character and all good qualities. She is also perfect for a good husband. My dear sir, her parents will come to see you, who are exactly suitable for her, just to deliver their daughter as his wife. Text 28. That princess, O holy saint, will be just the type you have been thinking of in your heart for all these long years. She will soon be yours and will serve you to your heart's content. Text 29. You will bring forth 9 daughters from the stone inherited by you, and through the daughters you beget, the sages will duly be your children. With your heart cleansed by properly carrying out my command, resigning to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally enter into peace.
Thank you, Anish. So one thing is, so the Lord is giving that one. As I said, like 9 daughters, and because your heart is so clean and you are clearly carrying out my commands, then I will, and you will finally attain me. And he will come as one son, as a Lord Kapila, to Devahuti. So that son will be there. So there is another lesson for here, as Prabhupada mentioned, and for all of us. So is clearly mentioned in our devotees' families' life also. When you want to have the children, right? So there is a meditation process, and they is saying that clearly you have to very meditate and chant the names before bringing the child to this planet. This is another separate lesson for all the newcomers, but I think most of them they have the child and they are in this process. But at the same time, Our meditation should be what Kardama Muni did is the 10,000 year of meditation in his heart. He wants the child, he wants to attain the Lord himself. Why can't we try our as a family, as a husband and wife? And some of the devotees who are very elevated and they born in uh, some of the devotees I know, Prabhupada disciple and the disciple, they have the childrens. If you met some of their children are so highly like their consciousness, they are very good singers. Some of the Mayapur that singers, they are the disciple of Prabhupada and they are the children of that one. And they are some of them, they are from the Europe and some from the London, and there are many of them. So the meditation process is there, and definitely we all want our children to be in the path of devotional service. Definitely we want them to be the progress in the material world. At the same time, they should be highly elevated in our path of Krishna conscious journey, right? So that's where the Lord mentioned that one. So you are going to have a 9 daughters and one son as me itself, and you will finally attain me. So with that, let's have next 5 shloka. Kirtana, you are there? Yeah. Please go a little louder. I heard some distraction in your mic, but it's hearable, but little loud. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Kirtana, please.
31. Showing compassion to all living entities, you will attain self-realization. Giving assurance of safety to all, you will perceive your own self as well as all the universes in me, and myself as text 32. O great sage, I shall manifest my own plenary portion through your wife, Devavati, along with your 90 daughters, and I shall instruct her in the system of philosophy that deals with the ultimate principles or categories. Text 33. Maitreya went on, thus having spoken to Kardama Muni, the Lord, who reveals himself only when the senses are in Krishna consciousness, departed from that lake of Bindu Sarovara, which was encircled by the river Saraswati. Text 34. While the sage stood looking on, the Lord left by the pathway leading to Vaikuntha, a path explored by all great liberated souls. The sage stood listening as the hymns forming the basis of the Samveda were vibrated by the flapping wings of the Lord's carrier Garuda. Text 35. Then after the departure of the Lord, the worshipful sage Kardama stayed on the bank of Bindu Saraswara, awaiting the time of which the Lord had spoken.
Very nice. Thank you. So these are some of the descriptions which it's mentioned, right? So he again saying that the 9 daughters and I will be there and all the descriptions. And he was sitting next to Bindu Sarovar. Hopefully, I think the if you go more detail about the Bindu Sarovar is very auspicious river, and it's mixtures of the tears of the Lord. So I don't know if anyone knows that where this exact spot where Kardama Muni was meditating, and once the Lord left, then he was waiting for Swambhavu Manu and his family. They should be arrive, which he mentioned that next day, tomorrow. So let's go to 5 more shlokas. I know Amit Prabhu. Amit Prabhu, you want to read next 5? Uh,
Yes.
yes.
Um, 36. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Because I'm hearing my own voice.
No, I'm okay. We are good.
Okay. Swambhu Manu, with his wife, mounted his chariot, which was decorated with golden ornaments. Placing his daughter on it with item, he began traveling all over the earth. Text 37. O Vidura, they reached the hermitage of Sage, who had just completed his vows of austerity on the very day foretold by the Lord. Text 38, 39. The holy lake Bindu Sarovara, flooded by the water of the river Saraswati, was restored by the host of eminent sages. Its holy water was not only auspicious but as sweet as the nectar. It was called Bindu Sarovara because drops of tears had fallen there from the eyes of Lord, who was overwhelmed by the extreme compassion for the sage who had sought his protection. Text 40. The shore of the lake was surrounded by clusters of pious trees and creepers, rich in fruit and flowers of all seasons that afforded a shelter for pious animals and birds, which uttered various cries. It was adorned by the beauty of groves of forest trees.
Thank you, Prabhu. So let's do four more shloka. Achintya Prabhu, I saw your camera is on. If you can read next four shloka up to 44.
Sure, Prabhuji, thank you. And the area resounded with notes of overjoyed birds, intoxicated bees wandered there, intoxicated peacocks proudly danced, and merry cuckoos called one another. Text 42-43. Lake Bindusarovar was adorned by flowering trees such as Kadamba, Champaka, Ashoka, Karanja, Bakul, Asana, Kunda, Mandara, Kutalja, and young mango trees. The air was filled with pleasing notes of Aranda ducks, flowers, swans, ospreys, waterfowl, cranes, chakravas, and tarokas. Text 44. Its shores abounded with deers, boars, porcupines, gavaryas, elephants, baboons, lions, monkeys, mongooses, and musk deer.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, reading part we can stop here. So, let's have some more. In the further next 7 8 shlokas, he was describing the different, and the Prabhupada also mentioned there is how this that Bindu Sarovar and the next to the Saraswati River, how it's look like. You saw the description, right? So, different kind of flowers and the animals and the different kind of sound by the different birds. The birds are there, and in that place, and again Kardama Muni went into the meditation, and he was thinking and waiting for Swambhavu Manu and his daughter, and they will be arriving there. As soon they arrive, what Kardama Muni did, again he is giving the offer, obeisance to him. He know that they are coming, and now he was praising the Swambhavu Manu. He know that one. Who are these people? They are like controlling, and because they are from the part of the Kshatriya family, they are controlling everything. And he was start praising that because of you we are in the peaceful way, because you are Kshatriyas, you are controlling everything, you are managing very nicely. And then he was asking, he know that why they came, but he was asking how I can help you. These are the descriptions. So once these the next 7 8 shlokas, that's where the conversation happens between Kardama Muni is praising Swambhava Muni, his wife, and the daughters. And in the next chapter, Swambhava Muni is praising Kardama Muni, that because we heard about you, Narad Muni already told that for your daughter is the best husband is going to be Kardama Muni, and he is sitting next to Bindu Sarovar. So with that, I want to stop here. We have still 7 or 8 minutes, but we will discuss. From the learning lesson from this entire chapter is how our practice as a family, husband wife family, the wife is meditating. Devhuti was not normal ordinary wife also. She was meditating to get the best husband, which Narad Muni says that your husband is Kardama Muni. And Kardama Muni, in his heart, he was praising to the Lord so that he can help Brahma instruction and have more progenies. So now in the Kali Yuga, it's not happening, right? We know that one. But what is for us is still we can meditate, still, because we know that now we are parents, we are going to have our child, they will have get into the same husband wife relationship. We can guide them, we can teach them by the examples of the Bhagavatam. What is the process we should be, at least our consciousness should be, at least pray to the Lord that wife will, the girl will get the good boy, boy will get the good girl, kind of thing, right? That meditation has to be there. There is nothing wrong, right? to praying and the thinking in that mode. So Kardama Muni is giving the very best ideal example for everyone how we can do this process. That's what the we learn. And now in the next couple of cantos we will little bit slow down, because there are a lot of informations, a lot of devotional service, learning lesson which we can take in our practically and improve our bhakti process. This is not just a story. From the story, Vidura is asking very right questions for our family thing and how we can progress in our bhakti journey. So with that, let me pause